And so now you're managing director of Alstom in Poland and Central and Eastern Europe. What are your main aims and priorities, as you are managing director for this part of the world?
We have a large presence in these countries that it comes from. These countries includes Poland, Ukraine, Czechia, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, or the Baltics. Then it's 20 countries, and we have a large presence. The biggest one is here in Poland, with more than 4,000 people working for us with the merge of Bombardier. So we have big opportunities here, a large presence.
Poland itself has one or two quite strong homegrown labels. I mean, how do you see Alstom in this? Because you employ a lot of people locally. How do you see yourself positioned in Poland?
Here in Poland, as I said, we have a large presence in Poland. Now with all the full portfolio of Alstom, we have in Poland 2 factories of rolling stock that we produce trains. One in Chorzów, the other one in Wrocław. We do also signaling systems in Katowice with more than 800 people designing traffic system software for the security of the trains. We do the Pendolino. We introduced the Pendolino in Poland. We maintain the Pendolino for PKP IC from Warsaw. Then we have large presence, and this is the combination and the heritage of many hundreds of years of historical presence of the different companies like Konstal, like Zud in Poland. Then now the activity we have, as you said, 4,000 people, 4,000 families. This is direct employees, but then the whole impact in the economy is huge due to the supplier bases working for us. And having that large presence with all the portfolios, as you said, from high-speed trains to urban metros or tramways or signaling systems, producing and investing. Well, we have invested in the last years in Poland in the rolling stock factories, for example, 400 million zloty in Katowice and in Chorzów, and 250 in Wrocław, to develop the factories, to develop the products. Everything we do in Poland is for export. Exporting to Saudi Arabia, exporting to Dubai, exporting to Germany, to France, to Italy, many countries. But we are not producing for Poland. Then when you ask about what is the aim, our aim is to concentrate in the domestic market. We can add a lot of value. We are close to our customers here. Our management is local. Our employees, of course, they're locals. So our aim in the future is, now in the present, is to be present, to be able to serve our customers also in Poland with the portfolio of products we have, adapting the portfolio and the products to the local needs.
Okay. In Poland, as you obviously know, there's a huge project or plan by the government to build, as I understand it, 1,600 kilometers of new train track, all linked to the big airport project, the Solidarity Airport Hub. Is this a project you are thinking about? Is this something that Alstom is interested in?
This type of projects we have large experience on that. It has the development of the high-speed network in any country in Europe where it comes and you see the results for the economy, for the passenger, to shorten the trips, more comfortable trips with the high speed. The impact is huge in the economy and in the passenger. Then we have large experience as the pioneers in high speed in Poland with the introduction of the Pendolino.
Mm-hmm. And how about outside Poland, in Central and Eastern Europe? What are your plans outside Poland for this region?
We have strengthened our position in different countries. For example, in Czechia, we have a large factory too, producing body shells for export too. In Hungary as well, with a large presence. We have also strengthened and duplicate our workforce in Romania with services for the whole Europe. Then it's a strong footprint and presence in those countries. And we have tenders and we have projects in every single country that we want to follow. Yeah. In each country we have local management.
Yeah.
Because we are a local company, then our objective is to be close to the customer, to understand the customer needs to speak the same language, the same mentality. Then the local management, the top manager in each country is a local person.
Moving on a little bit more in a general sense, green mobility solutions is something that's obviously very important for the industry, but also for the wider economy and the future of the world, actually. What is Alstom's take on this? Because I know that you're at the forefront of this.
Yeah. Well, as you said, we are in the middle of a passionate transition with the climate, with all the impact in decarbonization and the strategy to decarbonize, and the Green Deal in Europe to be zero emissions in 2050. Then in Alstom, we are proud to be pioneers. We are pioneers, and we try to see what is the mobility of the future. And clearly, in the sustainable mobility, we started many years ago to develop the first hydrogen train to replace diesel trains. And this train today is a reality. It's running in Germany. It's also actually running in Austria. We just received orders in France, in Italy. There are initiatives also here in Poland. We are planning to introduce the first hydrogen train here in Poland. Actually, we are doing the body frames for these trains in Poland, and we want to do more for Poland, because these ones are now export to Germany.
What does the EU Green Deal mean for rail travel in Europe, for the region, and also for a company like Alstom?
It's a huge thing. It's a huge challenge to be zero emissions in 2050. 2050 is tomorrow. In our industry, when we plan investments with our customers, plans investments are for the next 10 years. Then you need time to develop this. And for us, it's a full strategy to be at the edge of that technology, to be zero emissions. Urbanization is another of our challenges, the massification and the greater urbanization of the cities. Then we have developed digital solutions to connect, to orchestrate all the public transport means, the metros, the tramways, the buses, the high speed, interconnected. Then the fluidity in the traffic for a passenger is much easier, reducing the emissions in the city with a big impact, not only in the traveling time, but also in the emissions. Then for us, it's a full revolution that we are, we like, innovation is in our DNA. Then we like to be there, and we like to be pioneers in this industry.
The ERTMS, this is the European Railway Traffic Management System, is a topic much discussed in the industry. What is it, and what will it mean for Europe's transport future?
When we talk about signaling, this is a little bit more complicated. People don't understand well what is this signaling thing. This is let's say the language that the tracked infrastructure has to speak with the train to control the traffic.
So the infrastructure speaking to the train,
yes,
basically.
Let's say in simple terminology. Then it's difficult to connect countries for the passenger with the same train if they don't speak the same language. Then ERTMS is the response to that. It's an European system for all over Europe that you can pass, that allow the trains to go from one country to the other. But then on top of the track, you have the train. The train needs to understand what's going on there. Then you have to equip also the train with onboard units that can read the ERTMS. Then there is there are many investments in different countries. Here in Poland, we are leaders in signaling. We are proud to be the first one introducing the ERTMS level 2, which is enhanced technology via radio instead of via track. The line is the Gdynia, or the Warsaw-Gdynia. And after the implementation and putting in service, the travel time is shorter, the frequency is better, the speed can be increased. Then there are many benefits on that.
What can your average person get excited about in the next 20 years or so of the rail industry?
Many things to be excited about. It's about what we say, hydrogen. It's about connectivity. We introduced the Wi-Fi in the Pendolinos here in Poland. We introduced it to be connected. People want to be connected 100% of the time. And connectivity, speed is there, comfort, driverless trains. There are many metros, and the technology is there for the introduction of driverless trains in high-speed trains, for example. Then there are many things that are really, really interesting. Battery trains, this orchestrator, not only for rolling stock, not only for the trains, but also the orchestrator of the whole city with the fluidity of the traffic and the connections between buses and metros and all of that. There are plenty of things.
So like for the average person in the future, things should be maybe smoother in terms of coordination between different...
That's the target, that is smoother. If you are taking a bus or taking the metro every day to go to your office, and after the metro you have to take the bus, if you can correlate, you can connect the frequency of one with the other, and if there is any delay, any problem in the metro, it can be considered in the bus, because if not, the bus will move along without the people, and the objective is not to move rolling stock, is not to move steel, you need to move people. Then an empty bus is a waste, an empty metro is a waste. Then to maximize the capacity and the fluidity in a city, it has a big impact.
When you look at the future of a rail industry in Poland, in the region, in the world, are you optimistic about developments? Do you see it as a growing presence and more ecologically and sustainably friendly?
Definitely.
Are you optimistic about this?
Definitely. The climate challenge, the sustainable mobility is there, and is for the long run, and this is the strategy. And we see that move in Europe. We see large investments in Europe. We see large investments in Americas. Mobility is a need, and it will continue being a need for the people. And the cleanest mean of transportation is the rail. Then definitely we have a future.
You know, high-speed trains is something that catches the imagination of your average person again, like in Japan, and you know, you hear about these really fast trains. Is there scope for that in Poland, in Central and Eastern Europe, to have even faster trains where you could get to Gdansk in an hour and a half or something? Is that not going to happen?
Well, but anyway, coming to Poland, we introduced the Pendolino, as I said to you, 2015. There are plans to invest and to create a larger network of high speed. Then we have now the capacity in Poland to produce, design and develop that product to our customer, dedicated to the Polish market. Then that will be our dream, to collaborate with the customer to develop that train, to produce the train in Poland, and can serve our passengers and the people here in Poland, as we did with the Pendolino. Not only with the introduction of the Pendolino, also with the introduction of the Wi-Fi. It was 2 years ago. Now it's connected, the train is connected. Then there are many plans.
So you can see Alstom's presence in Poland actually expanding in terms of employment and production.
That's our main objective, to develop the domestic market, to grow in the domestic market.
And
we
when
have
you say
the solutions.
Okay, and when you say domestic, you mean Poland and Central Eastern Europe?
Poland, or Czechia and Hungary, but specifically in Poland, with the large capacity, with large portfolio of products, we can adapt the products to the needs of our customer, and this is our main target, to develop and produce product in Poland for Polish customers. We have the product, we have the solution, we are close to the customer, then we're ready.